Hi, this is Bill Watkins. I want to spend one more time on angels with one thought today, and you'll find it in a couple of passages, one in the Old Testament and another in the New. But you remember the story of Elijah? And it says of Elijah and Elisha that Elisha wouldn't leave Elijah. He kept trying because it was his time to go. And then as you get to 2 Kings chapter 2, verses 11 and 12, it says, as they still went on and talked, behold, chariots of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven, and Elisha saw it and cried, my father, the chariots of Israel. Now listen, and its horsemen. Who were those horsemen? The horsemen are actually the ones who are driving the chariots. These are the angels of God. And he saw him no more, and he took hold of his own clothes and tore them in two pieces. And if that's not clear enough, this one really is clear. There's a story where Jesus, for a while, just pulled back the curtain for a moment so that you and I could see what happens to us just after you die. It's found in Luke chapter 16, verses 19 through 31, and he tells the story about a rich man and a poor man named Lazarus that was laid at his gate every day, full of sores, designed to be fed with even the crumbs that fell from the rich man's table, and you'll remember that the dogs came and licked his sores. Now listen to what it says in verse 22 of Luke 16. The poor man died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. He was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. When God's people die, they do not die alone. There is a forest in Japan where people go to die alone. And if you walk through that forest, you can find dead bodies, and occasionally they'll come and they'll clear them out. But it has a specific name for people who choose to die alone. But you never die alone if you're a child of God. You will be carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. Now, Abraham's bosom in this passage is talking about what you and I know as the Hadean world, where the spirits of men and women go until the time of the resurrection, where we receive a new body and then the judgment, and then ultimately we'll go on to heaven, and those who are not ready will be in hell. But in the meantime, the Hadean world is here divided into two places. One is a place of torment where the rich man went, and one is a place of paradise, Abraham's bosom, a place of feasting and joy, where Lazarus himself went. Now, how did he get there? He was carried by the angels there. I love this idea that when those times come, that we will be carried by the angels. I've been with any number of people at the time that they're dying, and I believe that there are times where we're half here and half on the other side. And to listen to what people say in those moments is significant. I believe that the angels often have come while I'm watching them. That they come and they bear that soul away and take that soul back to Abraham's bosom. What an amazing thing it is to know that at the end, for the child of God, there can be peace because we're never by ourselves. We're never forsaken. We're never forgotten. God has angels for us, and they carry us. I love that. You know, when I was a little boy, there were times we would go on long trips, and when I would come back to the house, I would have fallen asleep. And when I wake up, I'm in my own bed. How did that happen? My father, who loved me and who was strong, would pick me up very gently and carry me to my room and put me in my bed so that when I woke up the next morning, I was perfectly at ease because I was where I was supposed to be. God says, I'm going to take care of you just like that, so that when the time comes, someone will gently pick up your soul and carry it to where it needs to be, so that in the morning, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and everything is well. You and I have that promise. You and I have this ability to know that God never stops caring for us, and He even takes care of our transport from this world to the next. We're so blessed. I'm asking you to align your life with that God. Thanks for watching.